Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So why did I wake up this morning to the news of Two-Face Idibia and Anne Macaulay getting a divorce? All right. Now, if you don't know who these two are, they have become the name on everybody's lips after Young, Famous and African show, which aired on Netflix a few weeks ago, right? Now, everybody has been talking about their relationship, from infidelity, multiple baby mamas, multiple wives, and so on and so forth. But Annie Macaulay was the main wife, okay? Now, Two-Face Idibia is a big artist in Nigeria, Africa. And Annie is also an actress in Africa, right? She's also big in her own right, all right? So they got married. According to people, they knew each other since she was 15 and he was 20 something, all right? And a lot of people are saying he groomed her and so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into that yet. I'll let them do the talking for themselves. Now, if you've not seen Young, Famous and African, you may not understand what is happening here. But a lot went down. I just finished season 3. So yesterday, there was a post on his Instagram page about them getting divorced. You can pause and read it, right? Now, somebody came back to dispute that, saying that it's not true, the account was hacked and so on and so forth. But there were people in the comment section saying, how could you post if your account was hacked? Okay. So a few, maybe hours later, he came back to clarify in a video saying it was actually him that posted that. And it's true, confirming it basically. So take a look at that.
Yo, my people, man, nobody hacked my account. Let me talk with you, I want to talk. Understand? My common peace.
Now, people are not so happy about this whole situation because they're saying Annie is not in the right state of mind. There's been rumors of mental health issues. And on top of that, the whole world has been chastising Annie after season 3 of Young, Famous and African, right? So it's like she's going through a lot, or it looks or seems like she's going through a lot. So why are you detaching yourself from her now, after she's been with you through thick and thin? She supported you, defended you, and so on and so forth. However, there was another video I saw that stated that it's Annie who is the abusive person in the relationship. So I don't want to waste your time. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of what everybody is saying on the internet, all right? That's what I do here. So let's get into it. I'm going to come back and share my own thoughts and opinions about all of this, and leave yours in the comment section. Thank you.
Two-Face has just announced his divorce from Annie. Now, before you go ahead calling Two-Face the devil like some people are calling him, listen to what his brother had to say about Annie in 2021.
Everything. I am going to scatter everything. Nobody knows the rest of an angry woman. I will ruin everything.
His brother came out to say that Annie Idibia maltreats Two-Face at home, and she literally makes life unbearable for him. Everybody already knows that Two-Face is the cheating partner, and he's probably the one that's making Annie act this crazy. Being Annie and having lived with someone that is a cheat all through the years, to the point where it's now beginning to affect you mentally, I would think that the right thing to do is actually to like quit that marriage for everyone to go their separate ways. Them getting a divorce as a solution to all this constant toxicity between them might actually be the best thing that happened for them, because this thing has been on and going on over the years. I'll assume that Annie probably likes him so much that she cannot stand him cheating or doing anything that, anything that just pisses her off to that extent. And the reason this thing happens is because she probably likes him too much, because there are some women that with men that they love, that they call their husbands, but they don't give a fuck if they actually cheat. But she probably likes him too much that every single cheating activity or behavior pisses her off and makes her a mad person. So I just wanted to mention that everyone keeps saying this is not the best time to have announced it, but no one knows what's actually going on behind closed doors. No one knows the heat that this guy Two-Face was catching that made him come out to announce right now that the marriage is done. Nobody knows exactly what's going on there. If you even go and watch that video of Two-Face announcing that yes, that he wasn't hacked, that they're actually getting a divorce, look into that guy's eyes. You notice that isn't the usual Two-Face. Everyone was literally saying that this guy has pain in his eyes, and just coming out of the blues to announce this thing wasn't just ordinary. So let's be careful how we are calling people out and heaping blames. Yes, he had to take the blame of cheating continuously, if actually that's actually what happened, and making her this maniac. But Annie on her own is an adult. She could have actually walked away, but she refused to walk away for reasons best known to her. And so if he's even the one that's coming out to even now end the marriage just for everyone's good, it's good. If you have been calling Annie out all this while, telling her she needs to leave the marriage, and now coming out to bash Two-Face for being the one to announce the divorce, God will judge you. I still remember the time in 2021 when this thing trended, right? And we heard a voice note of Annie Idibia screaming like a maniac, like a mad person over the phone, threatening that if Two-Face ever goes to America to see his baby mama, she's going to do this or do that or do that. So this one didn't start today, right? So if you've actually been following this thing over the years, you understand how toxic this thing has been and how it's probably even affecting her mentally the more.
As someone who has dealt with the bona fide narcissist for majority of my life, Two-Face is a narcissism, right? After everything that he has done to that lady, he is still the same person who is choosing his peace, and he genuinely believes that he deserves it. Everything said today is based on speculation with a sprinkle of personal opinion, because much like everything under the sun, we can identify themes. Even if this does come out to be a publicity stunt, I stand by everything I say. I genuinely believe he never loved that woman. She just refused to leave, and with a bit of guilty conscience, he decided to now go and wife her. Which we have now found out meant absolutely nothing to him, because his last son with Bero was allegedly conceived when he and Annie were newlyweds. She was the one that endured and proved that she couldn't live without him. She said she was owed the title of being his wife and mother of his kids, so he gave it to her. There was never a moment of genuine love between them. Annie was infatuated with him. I mean, she was 15 and he was 24. And he thought she was good for optics, especially after African Queen dropped. Even though Annie is a middle-aged mom of two, emotionally she is still that 15-year-old girl that this predatory 24-year-old man snatched during the prime of her puberty and turned into this anxious mess that we see today. She was 10 years away from her frontal lobe developing, and science has proved that abuse, especially childhood trauma, can stunt your frontal lobe development. So by the time she was 25 and her frontal lobe should have been developed, she was dealing with a serial cheat, constant mocking from the literal world, and a relatively failing acting career. For as long as we can remember, Annie has been literally grasping at straws, finding some semblance of happiness from a man so seemingly dedicated to withholding her joy. The same man she has made the gatekeeper of her joy. Of all the times that he could have told us that they were separated and headed for divorce, he chose when the entire world was mocking her in his name. He had been holding these secrets for a long while, according to his statement, and he didn't even respect her enough to keep holding it. No, he chose the moments where she was being made a caricature, a ridicule because of him. He chose that moment to tell us that he is choosing his own peace. Listen, that man hates her. Like, genuinely hates her. She's been laying with her enemy. Some signs of a stunted frontal lobe include difficulty making decisions, a lack of control over your impulses, and the biggest one that we see manifesting in Annie, emotional instability. How many crash outs has Annie crashed out since we knew her to be linked to innocence? Both the crash outs we witnessed and the ones that were referenced in the crash outs that we witnessed. Like, there is nothing like suffering well, especially as a woman in today's society. The very reward that she claims she endured for has rejected her. Yo, this is a win for Annie. Now she gets to grow. She gets to be a teenager again. She gets to see the world with brand new eyes. She gets to go on dates. She gets to figure out her identity outside of being the demeaned and enduring wife to a man who quite obviously hates her. No longer is she a victim of circumstance. Now, this is the part of the video where I talk directly to you, Annie. You made it out, mama, okay? This better not be a publicity stunt. You're worth being left alone by this man. In fact, you deserve to be left alone by this man. There is a large and fruitful world out there waiting for you, and this man has been holding you back. Choose yourself. Choose your girls. I recommend therapy, EMDR. For the things that you have been through, shit, I recommend hypnosis. You need to forget. You need space in your brain to develop who you really are. You deserve a healthy version of yourself. Your daughters deserve a healthy version of yourself. Good luck to everybody involved.
Annie Idibia was groomed by Two-Face, and you can believe what you want to believe, but she met this man at 15. He was 9 years older than her. A 24-year-old grown-ass man has no business dating a teenager, a 15-year-old. Adding to the unbalanced dynamic, the fact that he was an up-and-coming star and at some point was one of the biggest African artists. You have to keep in mind, we didn't have Whiskey, Burna Boy, Amapiano. We didn't have all of that. Europe, America, they did not know African music, but he went worldwide. So for people not to see Annie as a victim and actually make fun about her situation with Two-Face actually pisses me off. She was a young girl that should have been protected by her parents when she met Two-Face. And this guy started dating her with his 9 years of life experience that he was ahead of her, knowing fully well she's young, she's impressionable. And she grew to just accept him and compromise and just accept that that is how a man, that's how relationships are supposed to be. She has to just accept whatever comes her way. For some people to think that it's funny that she met him at 15, but was the last woman to bear his children because he had like 5 kids with 2 women. These women are not even side chicks. These are her co-wives. It's just that he didn't marry them. But he had 2 separate relationships, had children with them before now having a child with her. Do you people understand how mentally damaged a woman has to be to not only accept that type of nonsense, but to also rationalize it, embrace the children with open heart, like not even show any animosity towards those women and act as if everything is fine? Annie had her youth stolen from her by a useless man. And a lot of Africans will choose to look past that because they see her flying private, they see her holding Birkins, and they feel like she has access to so much. So why would we care about that? She should be happy. I don't think you people understand that infidelity and manipulation can destroy your self-esteem, destroy your self-worth, destroy even your trust in yourself. Like, a man can manipulate you to the point that you will start questioning your own reality. You will question things you saw with your own eyes. You can see him doing something, but he will now make you believe you did not see it. He can make you believe things that never happened. You need to imagine there are women out here or people out here that have been cheated on by someone they would have never expected it from. And they are like having a full-blown panic attack and finding it hard to breathe. Some people stop eating because of love and heartbreak. Now imagine that person is your world. You have married him. Everyone around you has told you that you need to count yourself lucky to be with him because he's this mega star. And then also women, being as spiteful as they can be, will be telling you that, oh, you're not even fine enough to be with him. You don't even deserve him. He can get finer girls. And then on top of that, he's significantly older than you, has shaped your view of the world, shaped how you think. He has been part of your life for longer than you can think. Like, he's been part from of your life for the majority of your life. And this person that is your only reference of love is someone that treats you so badly. I don't think people understand that, like, some women that want running around and mad on these streets is because of men. Like, the women that people see that they just off their wig, off everything, and they just run around naked. Most of the time, it's men that made them do that. Because I don't like how a lot of us downplay the impact of psychological torture. Women suffer more from autoimmune diseases than men, significantly more. And the reasons could possibly be traced back to the mental load we carry in all relationships, in society and friendships, everywhere.
I feel like there's something sinister about the way that Two-Baba/Two-Faced has waited till this very moment to announce that he's divorcing Annie. It feels like he wants to embarrass her. He knows that right now, off the back of the Young, Famous and African show, she's getting a lot of backlash. And also in our culture, in Nigerian culture, typically speaking, when such things happen, the majority blame the woman because it's still a very patriarchal society. And I don't know, it just feels really sinister to me. And if anything, it cemented my thoughts around women laying their life on the line for a man. You know, in a lot of African culture, let me be specific, in Nigerian culture, a woman's worth is still very much tied to her proximity to a man. If she is married, she is deemed as more esteemed. She is deemed as someone who has achieved something in life. And so when a woman is divorced or no longer with said husband, she's the one that gets the blame. She's the one that gets looked down upon. But also, and more to my point, because a woman's success, a woman's value is so heavily tied to a man, women are often taught to just grin and bear his misbehavior. They're told that all men cheat, so what, it's in their nature, boys will be boys, but you're not allowed to step out. You must stand by his side. He can have children outside and you just have to take it. But, you know, like the good Queen Bobrisky said, good girl, no they pay you. It doesn't pay. It doesn't pay. It doesn't help you. Sticking by your man, despite his consistent disrespect, does not help you. It doesn't. It doesn't make you a better woman. Because when that man leaves you, they're still gonna say something about you anyway. It's so sad because there are some women that hold being married on their head top as if it's like the biggest achievement. And I'm not saying it's not. If you think it's an achievement for you and you've attained it, well done, sis. Well done. done. But this whole notion of sticking by your man, irrespective of his bad behavior and his disrespect towards you and your marriage, I cannot stand behind it, and I never will stand behind it, because that same man will now leave you at the height of your vulnerability. Yeah. I really do hope that women wake up. They wake up to this behavior and they realize that their whole being, your whole existence in life is not to serve a man. It's not. You wasn't born to accept disrespect. You wasn't born to be ridiculed and embarrassed so publicly, consistently. You wasn't born for that. That's not the purpose of your life. Honestly, if you are married, be married to someone that respects you and your marriage.
While we were here talking shit about Annie and like calling her out about doing drugs or whatever we called her out on the show for, Annie is now filing for divorce. We don't know if she's filing for divorce or Two-Face is filing for divorce, but Two-Face has officially made it. He just said it. He said like they're no longer together. They're separated. Kind of makes sense, because now that the show is like all over the place on Netflix, all of a sudden she doesn't post on Instagram. We know that the reason why they're on that show to start with is to get the notice. And it's important that when the show is ongoing on Netflix, your Instagram keeps popping, because that's when the ads can come in, right? But she doesn't post. So she's quiet. And a lot of times I thought that maybe it was because of the, negative comments on the internet about her. But it's not. She was going through real shit. We need to be careful what we say to people, because we don't even know what people are going through at the time that they're going through it. I feel bad. She is going through a divorce. And what pains me the most is the fact that her family means a lot to her. She's somebody that I don't think she can be anything but just a mother and a wife. That's what I think, because Annie has never been Annie. Annie is more of Two-Face's wife than an actress. You get what I'm trying to say? So losing that can mean a lot to her, really. I don't know where she is right now mentally, but at the same time, I just hope that she's doing well, because Two-Face is somebody Annie has known all her life. And when I say all her life, I mean her whole adult life, because since she became an adult, she's been with Two-Face, right? She's been a mother and Two-Face's wife. She's gone through all this criticism, this insults, people just look down on her because of what she's been able to take from this man. I don't know what their situation was. I'm not trying to say anybody was wrong or right, but she no longer has all that makes her Annie Idibia. Who is she now? And I cannot help but wonder, this videos were dropping, we're talking about her, what I'm doing right now, is it doing her any good or harm? Really, because at this point, does she even want to see this kind of videos? Does she even want to hear what we're doing? Does she want to hear us saying she does drugs, she did this, she did what to Zara? Does she want to hear that? And that's why I said that Young, Famous, and African is one of the biggest shows in Africa yet.
As Kanye Mbao once said on the show, men will leave you in the desert without water. They will, because at the end of it all, men will choose themselves first. This guy has shown time and time again that he's a selfish person who only seeks what makes him happy. And this woman who has known him all her life has been following suit, because that's all she's known. She doesn't know anything else. She's put whoever she is on the side for this man, supporting him, defending him, bringing in outside children, raising them as if they were her own. There's nothing you can do. They will still show you shaggy. They will embarrass you. And he's the epitome of men will embarrass you. Okay? Because he's taking the opportunity now, right? If this is true and it's not a publicity stunt, he's taking the opportunity now, because now everybody is on the back of Annie. The whole world is shunning her. Everybody is casting their stones on this woman, calling her all sort of names, dragging her, and so on and so forth. And he's like, yeah, here's my own stone. Okay? The heartbreak. Can you imagine the way this woman loves this man? If you've seen the show, you'll see it. She's devoted to him. All right, she put herself on a silver platter and handed herself to this man, and the man still said, "You are not good enough. Now I'm going to do whatever I want to do with you." And for people to say she's the one abusing him, can you imagine? That's the narrative he's been spewing to his family. His envious or jealous family probably supporting his bad behavior, telling him this is how a man is supposed to be. Because I remember on the show, I don't know if it's season 2 or season 3, I've watched all the seasons now. I remember them having dinner and he's sitting there saying, oh, it's in a man's nature to have multiple women, to cheat essentially. And Annie, everybody was having are you talking about your own relationship? And he's like, no. And then other guys were defending him, obviously. He's talking about men's behavior. He's talking about himself to the the point that Annie got up and left that dinner they were having at the time. All right. So personally, I know it's going to be painful. I know it's going to be hard, but I'm so happy it's over. I hope she picks up the pieces and she makes something out of her life. And I pray that she doesn't go back. I pray she's not begging him. I pray that she finds healing. She finds peace somehow. She's able to rebrand herself, her image and everything, get something going for herself and get to know her, get to know who she is as Annie Macaulay. All right, because for the longest time, everybody has known her as Two-Face's wife, like the other guy saying, I hope this is the opportunity for her to do that. So I'm glad that it's over, and I hope it's actually over, and I hope she can move on with her life, get therapy, get help. And if you are close to her, please, this is the time for you to show her love and support, all right? Because we don't know what she's going through, to be honest. It's a lot. To have your own Judas to pin you to the cross in a moment and time like this, it's the most painful thing for anybody to go through. Anyway, leave your own thoughts and opinions in the comment section. And I don't know, if you want me to break down the Young, Famous and African show, let me know in the comment section. So I'll do, like a breakdown of the whole show if you want me to do that. And I'll see you again in another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.